So yesterday we did make a video about this trade right here between the Colorado Avalanche and the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, if you're scrolling on the YouTube channel, you could be like, wait a minute, there is no trade video talking about Johansen and Walker. Where are you talking about this, Lego? And it is kind of an Easter egg. We did talk about this Johansen and Walker trade in the Bowen Byram Casey Middlestat video. It was like kind of a half and half because I felt that those two trades worked together in unison. But because this video went over the trade itself, we didn't actually talk about the ramifications of what this actually means. Because when it comes to Ryan Johansen, center in the AHL now because he was placed on waivers by the Philadelphia Flyers after getting traded to there from Colorado, we have ourselves some apparent word as to why everything went down the way it did. Now, for reference, if you want to go to Ryan Johansen and his profile this season, I mean, he's been an okay player if you take a look at just strictly the points. I mean, we talked about this in the video yesterday, but 31 years old, 6'3", 218, right-handed center. His contract expires next year, so in 2025, making $4 million a year. And this season, he's got 23 points in 63 games played, on pace for about 30 points, a big decline from his 63-point campaign in 79 games with Nashville 2 seasons ago. Johansen, if you just take a look at this, is not that bad. But when you acknowledge the cap hit, when you acknowledge his role in the lineup, and when you acknowledge just what a whole bunch of Colorado Avalanche fans have been saying about this guy over the past few months, this really was a bad player in the situation he was placed in Colorado. For all intents and purposes, we'll just say he stunk. And it's not really indicative by the numbers. He played a lot worse than 23 points in 63 games played would indicate, but that's kind of why the Flyers immediately put Johansen on waivers after taking him as part of the Walker trade with Colorado. Now, I'll go out there and say that when it comes to the Avalanche, I feel like they're doing pretty all right ever since this Johansen trade went down, because later on in that same night, I was paying attention pretty closely, actually, to the Avalanche. And the reason for that is because this week in my fantasy league, it is the championship finals. I'm in the finals against the other guy that's been like pretty much the second best team all year, and he has Nathan MacKinnon on his squad. So I was kind of paying attention like, okay, the Red Wings, man, they got to go out there and they got to shut down Nathan MacKinnon. Don't let MacKinnon get any points against the Red Wings. And even my buddy O'Nyquist, very much beloved YouTuber here in the hockey scene as well, Nathan MacKinnon will not register a point tonight on home ice against the Red Wings. And then, yeah, what have I done? Somebody make it stop. Enough. Because the Colorado Avalanche destroyed the Wings 7-2. Nathan MacKinnon had 4 points, and I was kind of screaming internally as the night was going on because Nathan MacKinnon doing this ends up damning my fantasy team for the next few days. But either way, the Avalanche are doing all right. And we saw a lot of fans going out there and saying things like this. This is what happens when you take Ryan Johansen out of a locker room. Now, what exactly does that mean, Producer Drew? Well, before this Colorado game against Detroit kicked off, we had ourselves word from Adrian Dater, you know, the guy who asked Nathan MacKinnon if you just gotta say F it and win this thing. My sources say that relationships between the Avalanche's core players turned sour within the last 2 weeks towards Ryan Johansen. It was a problem that was addressed today, but Johansen's side of the story is yet to be told. The bottom line here, there was friction in the locker room between these top guys and Ryan Johansen. So all the crap that Colorado Avalanche fans were giving Johansen for the majority of this season because of his inability to play, his really unstable way of producing, and how bad he was at decision making and all this stuff, it's very apparent that maybe some of those feelings were also represented on the Colorado bench as well as within the viewers of the team itself. And even further to that point, we had ourselves some comments made on the Our Hockey sub from Avalanche fans. I'd put money when Devon Toews was talking crap about teammates to the media, he was talking about Johansen. This is going to sound silly, but my biggest concern about Ryan Johansen wasn't the stylistic fit, it's that he was consistently described as being among the dumber players in the league. That would track with him thinking he was playing well and having to be called out. And then there are some other anecdotal evidences going out there. Oh, confirm people where he's from are pretty dumb. I live there and I play beer league hockey. And this user, Drizzard, is talking about Vancouver, BC, baby. So yeah, we're kind of a dumb bunch over here. Assuming everything is correct, though. That's also why he was always out of position. His legs would get him there if he knew where he needed to be. He needs a very basic style offense. He's still got hands, though. The Avalanche has got to be just messing around with Tortorella. Oh, he's lazy and he doesn't try. Here you go. And considering Tortorella was his coach in Columbus, I think he knows. No surprise that Ryan Johansen was waived instantly in Philadelphia. I wonder if they'll send him to the AHL, or if they can just sit him out for the rest of the year if they can't deal him. I read that the plan is AHL currently, but they haven't ruled out recalling him later in the year. If they need help with their draft position, that's kind of funny. You could see this early on in the season when Devon Toews called out Johansen in the press without saying his name, and the quote is also listed here. I think we got guys who think they're playing well, and I think they're kidding themselves at this point. So, Avalanche fans have been kind of stirring up this conversation about Johansen for a while now, but it's something that seems to have been validated by people on the team. And, yeah, the next comment is a pretty big shot at Adrian Dater. Johansen wanted to go in and say, F it, let's not think as much and just go win this thing when we don't think. Am I on the right track with any of this? What can I say? He's a gamer. And that's kind of like, you know, the meme. But also, when it comes to this Ryan Johansen stuff, we had ourselves another comment made by Chris McFarland on trading Johansen in this time frame. He put everything he had into it, but it just wasn't working for whatever reason. The cap logistics were an important part of this trade. The Gabriel Landeskog situation is still very much an unknown, and having the Taser extension kick in was part of the math. And another comment goes out there and says, yeah, he put everything he had into it, but it wasn't much at all. Nathan McKinnon might have went into McFarland's office and said, get me a different effing 2C. Probably. We all knew it was coming, but if Adrian Dater is to be believed, it feels like the top guys got tired of the lack of effort that Ryan Johansen brought in every night. This is the big sticking point, I thought, when Ryan Johansen first signed with the Avalanche. McKinnon is not going to like anything about Johansen as a professional hockey player. He's probably not a bad person or anything, but he seems too laid back and lacks with a lot of his work ethic, and maybe even likes the snacks a bit to be able to mesh well with the culture McKinnon tries to maintain there. And so at the end of the day, with everything in mind, this adds another element to the Ryan Johansen trade to the Philadelphia Flyers. The fact that he got sent down on waivers right away. The Flyers apparently, I mean, based off of their evaluation of everything, they probably knew about this, right? They probably knew the reputation this guy has and the bad season he's played so far, to the point that now, I mean, they're not using him in the NHL. He's not that bad just on paper with the 20 points in 60 games, but it's very difficult to say that a guy like this deserves to be in the AHL, especially when he's making $4 million. So there's got to be something else at play here that probably explains why the Philadelphia Flyers sent him on waivers right away. If John Tortorella just straight up said, no, sorry, I'm not coaching that guy again, then hey, c'est la vie, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the reason Ryan Johansen got traded, aside from just his overall lack of offensive productivity and work ethic issues and everything. We have word that apparently the Avalanche core players legitimately turned sour towards him. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.